What would you do if the world was full of voices you could never hear and everyone treated you as if you didn't exist? Tonight, I want to tell you a story that will touch your heart, because it's not just about money, power, or status, it's about the simple language of love and understanding. And it begins with a lonely girl, a silent world, and the one person no one expected to change everything. A janitor, Lila Kingston, was born into a world of privilege. Her father, Arthur Kingston, was a billionaire who owned half the city's real estate empire. Their mansion was filled with chandeliers, marble floors, and more rooms than one could count. Yet for Lila, who was born profoundly deaf, none of the noise, grandeur, or voices mattered. She lived in silence. From a young age, Lila felt the distance between her and the world around her. Her teachers spoke at her but rarely to her. Her father, though he loved her, was a man always caught in boardrooms and business meetings, believing money could provide everything his daughter needed. He hired the best tutors, doctors, and even therapists, but he never learned sign language. He thought expensive solutions would be enough, not realizing his daughter needed presence, not presence. As the years went by, Lila's silence became more isolating. At school, her classmates avoided her because they didn't understand her. Some whispered cruel things, thinking she couldn't hear, forgetting that she could see their mocking smiles and dismissive gestures. Others ignored her completely, and so, even surrounded by people, Lila was alone. Everything changed the day she met him. His name was Samuel, a quiet janitor who worked in her elite private school. He was in his late 40s, with calloused hands and tired eyes that carried hidden stories. Samuel was the kind of man most people overlooked, just another background figure mopping hallways and fixing leaky faucets. But one day, while Lila sat alone in the corner of the cafeteria with her untouched lunch, Samuel noticed something the others didn't: her sadness. He hesitated for a moment, then slowly approached. Lila glanced up, expecting the same uncomfortable smile or avoidance she always got. But then something unexpected happened as Samuel set down his mop, raised his hands, and signed, "Hello. My name is Samuel." Lila's eyes widened. For the first time in weeks, she felt seen. She signed back quickly, almost in disbelief. "You know sign language?" Samuel smiled softly. "Yes. My son was deaf. I learned it for him." In that instant, a wall that had stood for years began to crumble. From that day forward, Samuel would find small moments to talk with Lila through sign. He asked about her drawings, her favorite books, and her dreams. She told him things she never dared to tell anyone: that she wished people could see her as more than the billionaire's broken daughter, that she dreamed of being an artist, and that sometimes, she wished she could just disappear. Samuel never pitied her. He never treated her like she was fragile or broken. He listened, not with ears, but with heart. Lila began to laugh again. Her drawings grew brighter, full of color and hope. And slowly, she started to believe maybe she wasn't as invisible as she thought. But their growing bond didn't go unnoticed. One afternoon, Arthur Kingston arrived at school unannounced. He was furious when he saw his daughter chatting animatedly with the janitor. To him, it looked like an inappropriate closeness, his daughter wasting time with someone beneath her. "What do you think you're doing with my daughter?" Arthur's voice thundered as Samuel stood up, startled. "Sir," Samuel began, but Arthur cut him off. "Stay away from her. She doesn't need whatever this is. She has teachers, doctors, professionals. You're just a janitor." Lila's eyes filled with tears. She tried to sign desperately to her father, but he didn't understand, because he had never bothered to learn. That night, Lila locked herself in her room, refusing to come down for dinner. She scribbled in her journal, "He doesn't see me. No one does. Except Samuel." The following weeks were tense. Arthur doubled Lila's sessions with therapists and tutors, trying to redirect her focus. But Lila grew more withdrawn. Her smiles disappeared again. Finally, one day, she gathered her courage and signed angrily in front of her father, slamming her hands against the table to make him look. He stared in confusion as she cried, her hands moving faster than ever. She wrote it down on paper since he couldn't follow her. "You have all the money in the world, but you don't have me." Samuel listens. Samuel understands. "You never even tried." Arthur was shaken. For the first time, he realized how deeply he had failed his daughter, not because she was deaf, but because he had been blind.